Hello everyone, welcome to Case Digital, and in this episode we're going to talk about using our very first programming language of Python, and we're going to write our very first application, and it's going to be the classic Hello World application. So to go ahead and get started, I've downloaded what's called an IDE, or an Integrated Development Environment. Basically, this window that you see here, this application that you see here, helps you be able to write programming languages and to run programs and to debug and do all the stuff that's needed when you're doing software development and using, computer science applications or things like that. So the program, or this specific program that I'm using, is called Visual Studio Code. It's very nice. It works with a lot of different programming languages, and I decided that for this series of learning programming, I wanted to start out with the programming language of Python. One, because it's one that I've been using very frequently in the last several months, as well as one that I really like for prototyping things, or getting kind of a prototype of what I want done out and going, and just testing through some things. Because when it gets to some other languages, when you're trying to get more performance or different capabilities, maybe there's a different programming language that might be best for that. Like, for example, when you want to optimize for speed, a lot of times people use the programming language of C++. And so in my case, we're going to prototype some things, and this is just to help you all learn. And so I felt like, in my opinion, Python might be the easiest way to help people kind of get quick wins and successes and start learning programming. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to write our first one. So in this, I'm in the File Explorer, and what you'll see typically, and I'll bring up a new one. Typically, what you'll see when you start this thing up for the very first time is you'll see this welcome screen. In here, I like to go to the extensions and then make sure that you have Python extension installed. So, write this one. Basically, when this pops up, you won't have anything here. So if this is your first time, but you can just essentially put Python in. And then you'll see this one from Microsoft. I have found that that's the best one. And, I think 44.9 million other people have as well. So, or I guess 44.9 million downloads have felt that as well. Maybe not necessarily people. But so I've downloaded this one. Just click install. It'll install it for you. You can see that mine's already installed. And if you're ever curious, this is kind of what I have on mine. I have C++, C#. I have this code spell checker because I can't spell to save my life, and so I always need this. And then some other things like Docker and Jinja, which we'll get into, but later down the line. We got to first, write our first program and everything like that. So without further ado, let's kind of get into it. I have opened up basically a folder called YouTube. I went basically File, Open, and then I just chose a folder where I wanted to put all my stuff. So right now it's YouTube, and then I'm just going to click this icon right here, which is create a new file, and I'm going to name this hello YouTube.py. So when you put the .py at the end, the .py, that tells that this is a Python file, basically a Python programming language file, which is necessary to be able to run it and use it as a Python application. So I like to write Python languages in a certain way, and that's kind of how I'm going to do it. To start off with this condition. So if you say if, and then you go underscore name equals main and then, as you can see, what's nice about IDEs is they usually, when you install their extensions for specific languages, they'll help you along the way, as you're writing stuff out, to know, or kind of guess and trying to see what you're trying to say. If you can see, if I hit enter here, it'll put this in. This is essentially what we want, but it did put it in the wrong spot, so I'm gonna erase that out. But we just want this. So sometimes it can be helpful, and as you saw that time, sometimes I can't. So basically what this is doing is, this is a condition, and we'll talk more about conditions in depth later, but basically this is saying, if we enter the program, or we come in, and the name of this value is equal to main, then do the colon. That's the syntax. So every programming language has their different syntax. This is Python's syntax, or the way that they want if statements laid out, type of thing. If this condition is met, then anything that's under here in this block, so the block of code is basically, in Python, they like you to do 4 spaces in. So everything that falls under here, then run it. So basically this says, if this condition is met, then we're going to do, and what we want to do is we want to print out to the screen and say, hello YouTube. So in Python, especially we're going to do print, and then we're going to do braces or parentheses, and then we're going to do another quote mark, and then we're just going to say hello YouTube. So this is kind of the basic, all in basic program. And I know it's very super simple and you all are probably like, well, hey, let's do more. But this is kind of the basic of what everybody, when they're learning their first programming language, what they do to try and make sure that everything is correct. It's just kind of a rite of passage, I guess, as you would for every single language. But this just helps you to make sure that you've got the basic syntax down that you can print out to the console or print out to the screen and show you kind of things that are going on. So, and I always like to have an extra line at the end. That's just kind of the style that I've always done through both work and just through my own schooling and whatnot. And so from here, if we save it, which Visual Studio Code automatically saves, if you're not using Visual Studio Code and just using like a Notepad or Notepad++ or anything like that, make sure you save the file now. And then I'm going to open up a terminal inside Visual Studio Code. So on a Mac, you'll see the file menu up here, and then this terminal. On Windows, you'll see something similar, but it'll probably be, find the thing where it says file, find the menu where it says file, and then go all the way over and find terminal. And if you do terminal, you can do a new terminal, and then it'll spit out this thing down here. Now, one thing you can do is you can hit, if you type ls, that means basically like list, inside the directory that you've opened up from, because basically what happened when I said open up a new terminal, it opened up a terminal that's essentially within my YouTube folder. And so when I hit ls and I say list everything that's in this folder, it'll show you that that's our file. So the basic command to run a Python program is you type Python, and then you do a space, and then you give it the name of your program. So we're going to say hello, and I'm going to hit tab complete because I like that. And tab complete basically just, if I hit tab while I'm typing, while I'm in a terminal, some terminals don't do it, but most do. If I hit tab, like on hello, it'll finish basically the name of the file. That way you don't have to sit here and go YouTube and hope you get it all correct, especially when you have long file names. So now from there, you should have all that typed in. Now just hit enter on your keyboard, and you should see, like, there it is. We got hello YouTube. So that is the basic and, most simple program that is done and is kind of like the rite of passage. So welcome, you are now a programmer if you haven't been programming. And that's kind of the basis of what I wanted to start out with today. And then we're going to dive more into different aspects of the Python programming language, as well as what we can do from there. So until then, we'll see you next time, and keep on messing with this. Try different things, like try hello YouTube, put your name in, and we'll go from there, and we'll see you next time.